Yeah, Auguste Renoir is perhaps one of the most beloved artists in the world. We think of joyful Parisians, we think of beautiful saturated color and really dynamic brushwork, but Renoir said that drawing was the soul of painting. In some ways that goes back a long way. It's not a new idea. What's surprising is that he says it. This is the first time that we'll see an exhibition devoted to Renoir as a draftsman. The last one happened in 1921 in Paris for 2 weeks. So I do believe that this is the first encounter the public will have on both sides of the Atlantic with Renoir as someone who draws. Renoir is one of the founding members of the Impressionist movement. He's born in 1841, and in the 1860s and 70s, he and Monet and Cézanne and Pissarro, Degas, they introduced an entirely new way of painting. Free, colourful, highly toned, and also taking subjects from urban and rural everyday life. This is a very familiar movement, beloved today, but Impressionism was initially contested and controversial. When Renoir shows in the first Impressionist exhibition, someone says, "I wish Monsieur Renoir knew how to draw." So there's this sort of background of misunderstanding of how deliberate Impressionists are, and that's what I hope we're seeing as we go through this exhibition. This is the first sequence of works that lead towards or replicate a major composition in paint. Dance in the Country, one of Renoir's most beloved large-scale pictures at the Musée d'Orsay, which is in the exhibition. This is probably the earliest work for it. It's quite marvelous because you have a feeling of the movement of the couple and these strange disembodied heads of different expressions for the young woman. After the painting is completed, he makes illustrations for a magazine, and he takes this very seriously. He realizes perhaps that to get it published, to get it reproduced, he needs to be a little bit more controlled. So we follow the trajectory of Renoir's career from a realist to an impressionist, and then gradually, in his 40s, he takes a step back, and he feels at that moment in the 1880s that he has to reconsider his art. And drawing comes back with a vengeance, if you like, at that moment. So this drawing, which is red and white chalk, should remind us how thoughtfully and deliberately the Impressionists worked. Renoir is just attentive to what is in front of him. Now, the painting that he makes two versions of this, called Maternity, and this is his new manner. As we can see, the colors are still very vibrant, very high key, but the handling is not bringing attention to itself. In many ways, it is more linear, and that is what Renoir's drift is towards. We're looking at The Great Bathers from the Philadelphia Museum of Art that was painted 1886 to 1887, and it was his manifesto painting in a way. It showed a new style. It showed a return to antiquity, to classicism. At the same time, it did not in any way abandon contemporary life. What we can see here is how he gets to this point. And this is the work that is in the Morgan's collection. It's been in the collection since 2018, and in a way was the engine that started this whole project. So we see two of the bathers, the one on the left holding her hand to her face. She's actually reacting in mock fright to the woman who's going to be splashing her with water. He's really focusing on her, using white chalk to model the flesh and the armature of the figure. And then the middle figure sitting, looking down, is a little bit more abstracted. So this, I believe, is the first preparatory drawing of this scale. And then as we go through, we'll see two more. In the last 2 decades of his career, Renoir gravitates to drawings in red and white chalk. With his arthritis and the challenges of holding his instruments, in some ways this is a more congenial medium for him. And as you can see, in 2 chalks, he can create whole worlds. He continues to work on bathers, he continues to work on the female nude, and in a way he's moving towards an Arcadian view, a timeless view with this idea of creating a timeless subject. This was an opportunity for me to come back to an artist I've worked on for decades, but in a very new way, and to discover a whole new side of Renoir that we could show to the public.